Hi, in this video I will work out a few examples of computing confidence intervals for the mean with t-values. We begin with the first problem. It states the following. Assume that one wishes to estimate the average time it takes to read all the books in the Harry Potter collection. A sample of 12 readers is selected and the average time it took for them to read all the books is 73.52 hours. The sample standard deviation is 8.9 hours. Find the 95% confidence interval for the true mean. N is 12, X bar 73.52, S is 8.9. Since we're given the sample mean, we need to find the t-value. In order to find the t-value in table F, we need to calculate degrees of freedom. 12 minus 1 is 11. So we use 11 and 95% to find the value. We go to 95%, go down to 11, and it's 2.201. That is the t-value. We're now ready to type this information into the calculator. First, I'll go ahead and type it in directly into the calculator to compute each limit. And then I'll demonstrate how we can use the built-in function in the calculator to compute the limits. So we have 73.52 minus 2.201 times 8.9 divided by the square root of 12. The left endpoint is 67.87. We can then highlight the equation, hit enter, change the minus to a plus, hit enter to get the right endpoint, 79.17. Another option is to click on stat, select test, so you want to use your right arrow to select test, and click on option 8, t-interval. Make sure you select stats, type in the information. The sample mean is 73.52, S is 8.9, N is 12, and the confidence level is 0.95. Highlight calculate, hit enter, 67.87, 79. Here would round to 1/8. Keep in mind the calculator is always a little bit more precise because I rounded in these steps, intermediary steps, to get these answers. Now let's take a look at the second problem. For the second problem, we're given a sample of data here. And I'll show you how to use the calculator to compute not only the standard deviation, but the actual limits. So let's read the problem. It states the following. A herpetologist wants to determine the average length of fence lizards in Southern California. The herpetologist collected a random sample of 9 lizards in Southern California and measured their length in inches. The data are listed below. Find the true mean length of fence lizards with a 99% confidence level. And then there's a secondary question about what's the nickname for a fence lizard? Blue belly is the answer. So we know our key bits of information. If we count our sample size, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that's our sample. That's going to be our sample size. N is 9. Now we can use our calculator to compute the sample mean and sample standard deviation. Let me show you how this is done using this type of calculator. So first of all, we click stat, and we want to make sure we have edit selected. Hit enter. In this first column, L1, we will type our data. So 7, 8, 7, 4, 8, 7, 5, 8, 6. After we enter the data, we click Stat again, and now we click Calculate, and make sure we highlight option 1, hit Enter. Make sure that under List, L1 is selected. Use the down arrow to select Calculate, hit Enter. We can see that X bar is 6 point, let's round to 2 places, 67. And S, the sample standard deviation, is 1.41. Once we have that information, we can then type it into our calculator. So we have 6.67 minus, we still have to get the t-value. Let me show you how that's done. Since n is 9, 9 minus 1 is 8. That's our degrees of freedom, and 99%. We go back to table F, 99%, we go down to 8, and we can see that 3.355 is the t-value. So that's how we were able to acquire the t-value. Now let's calculate our limits. So we type in our information, 3.355 times 1.41 divided by the square root of 9. That's going to give us 5.09. We can then highlight the original formula, hit Enter, change the minus to a plus, hit Enter, and we get 8.2. Here we get a slightly different value. It's, like I said before, the calculator is a little bit more precise. So it's going to be 8.25. We could also use the sample data to directly calculate our limits with the built-in function. We click Stat, select Test. We want to pick option 8. Instead of picking stats, we now go to Data. So select Data. Make sure L1 is selected because it's going to extract the information in L1. And we just have to make sure to type in the correct confidence level, which is 99%. And then press Calculate. And we can get the correct. Here, these answers are slightly more precise. 5.08 and 8.25. And so that's how we would calculate the endpoints. And thanks for watching this video.